Let's take a look at calculating transformation parameters from control points with terrestrial observations. In this project that we're looking at, you can see that the total station has been set up in the backyard of a lot, and we've tied in a house. And what we've also done is we've found and tied in control points, but we've done so from an assumed setup coordinate and an assumed backsite. So what you'll see here is you've got a cluster of points. You've got 2 and 502. And you can see 10 and 510, 5 and 515, and over here 7 and 507. And so these are control points, and we're not sure of their quality. What we're going to do is use rotate, translate, and scale from control points to match these point pairs, and then we'll calculate a best fit between them. And once we've decided that the results are reliable, we can calculate a transformation, and we can apply it to, in this case, all of the total station observed points. And that'll line everything up with the control. Let's go through the process of setting that up. So I'll go to Menu Home, Calculations, Rotate, Translate, Scale, and then we pick Apply Control Calculated Parameters. So now I see my control point list is empty, and I'm going to pick on Add Control, and I've decided that I'm going to use this control point to set both horizontal and vertical control, and I'll set up my point pairs. First, I'm going to select my source control, so this will be the field point. So I'll go to Select, and in this case I'll pick 0.507 and select. Then we want to set our destination control, or our plan point. And here I'll pick 7 off the list and select. Pick on OK, and that pair gets added to the control point list. Let's add another pair. Add control. This time I'm only going to use this control point for horizontal control. Select my source. Let's pick 0.510 and my destination. 10, its matching point. Select OK, and now we can see it's been added to the control point list. As I highlight it, notice how under vertical we see a no. So that means think of 507 as being our benchmark on the project. Now I'm going to add 2 more control points. Now we can see that the program has dynamically calculated a best fit using all 4 of these control points. And if you have a look at the delta north and delta east, this gives us an idea of how good the fit is. So after the best fit is calculated, and so what we can see is we have a relatively poor fit. At the very worst, you can see that the control pair 515 and 5, you can see that there's a delta of almost 10 centimeters or 4 inches. So if we're suspicious about how good the evidence was at 0.515, it's easy enough just to disable it. So I can highlight that row, go to Edit Control, and just uncheck horizontal. So now you'll see that we've got no and no under horizontal and vertical, and now you can see that the residuals are dynamically recalculated. And so we have a residual shown for 515, but it's not part of the calculation. And what you'll notice is that the residuals for 7, 10, and 2 are much better. So at this point, that probably supports the argument that the evidence at 0.15 was damaged and can't be trusted. So now that we're satisfied with the residuals, all we have to do is adjust the points according to the transformation parameters. I can pick on Adjust Points, and now I've got a choice. I can either take advantage of the smart solution that identifies which points were measured with a total station and just transforms those points, or if this is a more complicated situation, you may need to specify a specific point range to which to apply the transformation. But in this case, I'll just apply the total station measurements. Select OK. 13 points were shifted. Now here's a reminder that if we need to continue working, we have to reoccupy our point. That way the raw file will be updated appropriately. I'll continue. And now here we are back in the map view screen. And so what you'll notice here is that the house that we had tied in before is now oriented square to the lot. You'll notice how there's a point cluster here. There's less of a point cluster here because this is point 15 that had a poor fit. Another point cluster there, and over here at 7 as well. So at this point you can continue working. Now a further feature that you don't see here is if later on you encounter more control and you'd like to strengthen your results, what you can do is return to the RTS dialog, reset your control, calculate new control, and you can reapply the parameters. The program will remember how much the original points were shifted and will adjust for that accordingly. Thanks for your interest in calculating transformations from control point pairs.